Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of Buried. This Buried is a 2010 film where it's the whole film, not most of the film, not some of the film, the whole film. Every single frame is Ryan Reynolds in a coffin, buried underground. That's the whole movie. There's one actor, all the other characters are all voiced over phone calls. And I have a mixed relationship with this film because there are times where it is so thrilling, where it is so intense. Like when the sand's coming down in that final scene, you know, is so intense. I'm not going to give much away in this review because I don't think, there's not much big reveals. And, it's only an hour and a half. And surprisingly, it went by faster than you would think for an hour and a half film where it's just one guy in a coffin the whole time. But I did find myself bored with a lot of it. And, it has its great moments, but you would think, okay, it's one guy stuck in a coffin who can only make phone calls and stuff. So you would think that it would really have to rely on such a great story and mystery and thriller and stuff like that. But it just the story was good, but it just wasn't good enough to say this is all, because that's really all that's going for is a performance by Ryan Reynolds in what the story and the mystery and the detective aspect, or not detective, but I think the problem is everything that gets solved is off screen. Ryan Reynolds in the coffin can't do crap. He's in a coffin. So everything mystery wise, everything that they're trying to solve is all off screen. So the rest of it is just him making phone calls, attempting to get help, which, okay, fine. Spoiler alert. He never gets help. He dies in the coffin. And so when you take all those into consideration, you realize then what else is going for this film? There's intense, thrilling sequences here and there. But overall, when they're diving into a story, and they try to get you to care for all these characters, but you can't when you don't know them. When, at the very most, they're all ADR, they're all voiceover, they're all over phone call. And this is such a unique and fresh film that I can be excited and interested about it because, I've never seen a film like this. But the payoff wasn't there because it was thrilling at times. It was suspenseful at times. But it was just because, number one, the story of they're trying to find out what happened, and you never really know truly what happened and what he was doing there. No flashback sequences, no nothing, and it felt bland. The plot felt bland, and when that's all that's going for you, but the performance by Ryan Reynolds is great. I think when you think about it in that way, think about how much his performance matters to this film. His performance makes or breaks that film. Because if it's a horrible actor and he can't sell that he is stuck in a coffin, then it'll look shitty. It'll look horrible. And the ultimate truth is no, he sells it. He really sells this film. He really makes this film, even in its boring scenes, watchable. But, another thing is scenes, and it's hard to say scenes, because they're all one scene. You know what I mean? It's all one dragged out scene. And obviously, the story is extremely small scale, So it was a unique film, but it fell flat because the plot was not the best. And we never saw any detective work. Obviously, that's part of the idea, is that it's just through the eyes of the guy in the coffin, and it was just so that wasn't and solving the mystery was never part of the film. Ultimately, never gets rescued. Ultimately, you really don't know any real information at the end. And a lot of moments. I'm not gonna call them scenes, moments, because it's all one scene. A lot of the moments felt dragged off. There would be a 5-minute sequence of him just trying to turn on a light, and him just trying to get, cell power, and him trying to break the box. And it was like they created a concept that would have been a great opening to a film, like him trying, a James Bond or a Ethan Hunt trying to contact someone to escape the box, and then by the end of like the first 15 minutes, he's able to get out of the box, or someone finds him and opens the box. It would make a great 15-second opening to a film, or maybe a great 15-minute short film. But when you try to make a full-length film where that's what's going for you, there is plenty, of filler scenes. Not filler scenes, really filler moments, because again, it's all one scene. What I mean by filler moments is like extended scenes where it's like, let's make a 5-minute sequence of him trying to turn on a light, or a 2-minute sequence of him just trying to get cellular power, or a 5-minute sequence of him just resting. And they're trying to drag on to make it a length of a real film. And you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of very much an audio drama, a radio drama podcast, but in the version of film. Like, I can imagine sitting in the car, listening to like one of those mystery thriller podcasts that I sometimes listen to in vacations. I can imagine, like, this is what it feels like. It feels like an audio drama, or when like those podcasts of detective stories, but as a film. You know what I mean? Because everything in this film is not anything special visually. Like, granted, there'll be the sand sequence, and there'll be the snake sequence, and that'll be the ending where all the sand comes on top of it. But at the end of the day, ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't warrant a film in that sense, because films don't not have to be on a grand scale. It doesn't have to be an epic cast. It doesn't have to be a world-dominating story, but it has to have characters. It has to have plot. It has to have not action, obviously, story and arcs and at least to really resonate and really feel worthy of even an indie film. And so, I don't know, this is mixed because it's thrilling and intense sequences. It's at an all-time high, and it's really exciting and unique. But when it's just him trying to get cellular data, or for him just, trying to turn on a light, or him trying to escape, it becomes dragged on, it becomes boring. And that's the most of the film. Because it's like you'd be thinking he'll be on the phone the whole time, but he's on one call, and then he's on the next call, and then like a 10-minute break, and then, you know what I mean? And so, but anyways, that's kind of my review of the film Buried. Stay tuned for videos coming at you.